Click the subscribe button below. If you find the information useful, please click the like button, to help others find our content. For more information you can visit our website, at thejerusalemassembly.org.
The Jerusalem Assembly. June 3, 2019. Gratitude and Attitude, The Current Spiritual Rivalry by Ruben D. Garcia. On April 7, 2016, I wrote an article titled, Ingratitude, where I described the malevolent attitudes of humanity toward God, our beloved Divine Father and Provider. I encourage all to read it, for together with this new article, Gratitude and Attitude, it will complete a vital aspect of what was in the year 2016 a formation of an attitude which has now become in 2019, a transformation of attitudes. Such is the massive radical change of our present time that not only our minds are facing changes but our sublime divine spirits affecting our divine spirituality, which most of us are unaware that this divine intervention is manifested directly from God, the Supreme Creator. Since 1987, when it was deemed necessary for such divine intervention not only for mankind but also for the attitudes of mankind toward our Mother Earth, that presently we are now engulfed in all of the aspects of massive divine changes supporting the healing of our Earth. We are as passengers on a sailing ship in a relentless sea storm, being tossed and swayed in all directions according to the will of the ocean, in the hope that our vessel survives the rage of the elements, and in some defenseless attitudes, some may seek to prayers to the Divine for His mercy and benevolence to ease our fatal fears, and in some instances reflecting on our attitudes or behaviors of previous years as offering of repentance and mending our ways in lieu of our spiritual survival, but quickly forgotten as soon as we are on terra firma. Such is the current spiritual drama taking place in human history, without turning back to the old ways or regressing to an earth defiled by egotistic attitudes, or in many cases a complete disregard for the divine. A new earth is in the making. A new spirituality will be born from this divine drama, and the best thing of all of this is a new consciousness. Revelation 21:1. Thus, how did it all begin and when? It all started during the Jewish New Year of 1987, beginning on the evening of September 24 to the evening of September 25, Jewish year 5748, which is the real date of Jesus' birth, not December 25 as it is commonly celebrated for reasons auspiced by the religious leaders of the 3rd century, and we have embraced it without questioning. Such has been our journey throughout the ages, filled with deceit and misgivings. However, the time has arrived in which all of these are no longer the true reality to humanity. There are to be 4 transformations which I described in my novel, God's Chosen Ones, literally radically transforming mankind from the year 2012 to the year 2040. These 4 transformations will not only affect humanity but all that dwells on the earth. All of the creatures of the air, above and beneath earth, and all that dwell in the oceans. For animals and plants the transformation will be limited, but for humanity will be unlimited. All of these aspects of changes began in 1981 for me, when I was to begin to write the things I was to be given. At the onset of their messages I was somewhat hesitant on such given scenarios in which humanity were to go through a transition in which humanity's future journey would be predictable by his actions. This revelation disturbed me and caused a period of disregard to the messages given. However, in 1987 all changed when much was revealed that would take place by the year 2012 as they have described to me in 1981. Ever since 1987, I embarked in having their message published, and in 2005 the novel God's Chosen Ones became a reality. Consequently, since the year 1987, humanity began a journey toward a complete and utterly radical transformation in these 4 aspects: corporal, bodily, emotional, spiritual, and divine. Each transformation entails a 7-year period in which divine factors or aspects will reign over the earth, affecting all of humanity, even nature. 2012 began the corporal transformation, culminating by end of 2019. This transformation is based on our beliefs and attitudes not only toward God but directly affecting how we feel about ourselves, others, and overall humanity, and in many cases Mother Earth. These are the factors that the divine deemed necessary to change the course of humanity, since continuation of our previous attitudes and approaches would have brought us to semi-extinction. Therefore, the divine creator sought to intervene and offered mankind an offer he could not refuse because of the infinite and endless love God, the supreme creator has for all of his creation but specially, mankind. Thus, humanity finds itself in the guidance and protection from God and heaven's entire realm working in unison for the welfare of mankind. As the year 2019, the grand finale has begun and humanity has been treated to a marvelous changes that can be verified, such as no wars, weather changes, social, political, and economic disclosures that has stunned not only the USA but throughout the world, and yet, there is much more to come, awakening humanity to dark social and political secrets that will affect the consciousness of humanity, therefore drastically changing our beliefs but also our attitudes toward the elements of gratitude, blessings, compassion, and forgiveness that will rock the core of our thoughts and feelings. That is the current trend, and it can be witnessed by the actions of our elected officials from our local city, state, and even nation representatives. The time for humanity's transformation is irreversible. Humanity will not regress to the ancient and selfish attitudes we were conditioned to adhere and lived by. That is no longer acceptable. Our attitudes will change and our beliefs in greed and selfishness will no longer live in the midst of humanity's existence. It has been revoked by a divine order, and kindness has been bestowed upon earth to be the spiritual garment for all of mankind. Thus, as the first transformation is coming to its 7-year culmination, it does not end on December 31, 2019, but rather it continues enhancing humanity's conscious attitudes until its completion, in which all of humanity will live in complete eternal peace, supported by an endless unconditional love toward all things created by the Supreme Being and Creator. It is more than refreshing to know that a divine and supreme creator found worthiness in us to avert our final demise of extinction, as ancient prophecies depicted, if humanity followed the path of destruction and annihilation conceived by the mind of unscrupulous men. The fact that we can ascend to a higher order of consciousness engulfed in love, peace, and harmony is divine, and we, humanity, must cherish and protect it to the end of time. Much is to come in the next 3 phases of our transformations. By the year 2040, for those that witnessed what began on December 21, 2012 and are witnessing what will take place in the year 2019 and 2020, and are to be on earth by the year 2040, will be speechless, for what once was will no longer exist. Simply, we are not returning to wars, greed, selfishness, or hatred. Darkness will be eradicated from our consciousness and substituted by the divine light of unconditional love as the supreme attitude. Such atmosphere of kindness and caring for all humanity will be embraced with endless actions and expressions of heartfelt gratitude as never seen by humanity existence except for the masters that taught us through examples, and the rivalry between gratitude and attitude we were conditioned to believe in for thousands of years will no longer exist in our conscience. Concluding, the draft of the divine order was provided to some in the year 1981. By the year 1987 it was declared, and the foundations for its enactment began with some human beings being chosen to be revealing the plans of the divine. From the year 1987 to December 21, 2012, the buildings block of such divine decree were erected, and from that date in 2012, the divine puzzle began to be put together and all aspects of the divine decree was enacted without interruption or changes. We have culminated or fulfilled 38 years since 1981 and 32 years since 1987, when it was decreed by the divine that intervention would be activated, and in fact, the number 32 is significant more now than ever during this transformation, because it was during Jesus' age, 32, that he brought to life Lazarus from death, and it also just happened to have taken place during the late part of a semi-dry summer, in which the previous year it has been a rainy season, just as it has been for us throughout the world in 2019, and the grand finale for this first phase will be for humanity, the year 2020. Such divine action of Jesus bringing to life Lazarus mirrors our present reality. God bringing humanity form a path of destruction and death to a new divinity-inspired life. What a coincidence! Is it? Or was it planned? You are the assessor. What does your conscience declare? There will be more on this and the 4 divine transformations in the upcoming articles. Remember this always, as we learned for thousands of years, violence begets violence as hatred begets wars, also by divine manifestation and decree, hope begets love, and love leads to harmony and peace, and that will be humanity's consciousness for all times. Peace, shalom, and love to us all.